Hey everybody, hello. Welcome back to the summer series. Well, I'm going to call it the series for 2026. Um, oh dang, I think the neighbors getting their yard done. All right, we're just going to keep rolling. Going to keep rolling. 2026 series, Everyday Peace, more often, using spiritual principles to solve everyday problems. This next letter, I actually wasn't going to read because I had previewed it, and I was like, oh man, this is a hard one. This is a hard one. However, when I started to think about it, there's really no order of difficulty in um, there's no order of difficulty in getting a miracle. And so a miracle is seeing something differently, seeing it through the eyes of love rather than the eyes of fear. There's no order of difficulty. Love sees all problems the same way. There's only one problem. The problem is that I think I know what's right, my small little human mind, when I use my small little human mind to solve a problem, there's always going to be second guessing. Always. There's always going to be this analyzing in the past, analyzing the past, what I did, how I behaved, what I should have said, what I should have done, what I shouldn't have done. So when we are asking for a shift in perception to see the situation, the person, the place, or thing through the eyes of love, through the feeling of love, through the great self giving us answers, then everybody wins. Everybody wins. So that's why, all right, got on my soapbox a little bit there. That's why, like, I was like, I don't want to read this. This is too hard. But then I just remembered there's no order of difficulty. There's always an answer from the voice for love. There's always an answer if we're willing to ask. And when we follow that guidance, everybody wins. Everybody wins because we don't know. We can't know everything. There's no way. There's no way we can know everything. Okay. So I'll just get into it. Just gonna read it. My daughter, Aileen, 40, has gone from crisis to crisis since childhood. She can go from kind and generous one minute to vindictive and mean the next. She's easily triggered into rants, hurling the most hurtful words she can come up with. Men move in and out of her life on a regular basis. I'm sure Aileen would qualify as mentally ill, but she insists she's too smart to go to therapy. Oof, red flag. She knows more than they do. I have become exhausted dealing with her. She believes everything is my fault. I'd walk away if I could. She has three children, 11, 17, and 25. She treats them like possessions and makes grand promises one day and reverses herself the next day, declaring them unworthy. The eldest moved out at 18 and has never looked back. He has had a difficult time due to the emotional damage of his mother inflicted on him, but now he's in a stable situation thanks to support from me and his uncle. My concern at this point is with the younger two, so they're 11 and 17. All I can offer them is emotional support, but they are suffering because the abuse is not physical. There seems to be little else I can do. Any suggestions on how to help and how to help them deal with this? This is the grandmother who is asking about the grandkids. Um, it sounds like her adult daughter of 40 is a little bit wackadoo, a little bit reactive. We don't know. We don't know her whole story. We don't know her diagnosis, but it sounds to me like she's unwilling to get help, which is, you know, that you can't force someone to get help. You just can't. You can't force them. Now, I agree. You're saying you're exhausted. You can't, but you can't walk away. So there's something in your soul, like there's something in you that's just saying, this this situation is crazy. I don't know what to do. I would walk away if I could, but there's something in my heart and in my soul that won't let me abandon these kids. So I see that you're really not talking about saving your daughter, which I'm kind of like, yeah, there's not to sound cold or cruel or, but she's a grown woman who's making choices for herself. However, she has these kids that she's raising, and I'm I'm like, makes me stop. If she's got kids 11 and 17 and she's got people, men coming in and out, I don't like that because there's so much awareness now of these predators out there who love these types of situations because it's just perfect for them to be predators and abusers of unstable women, children, or just unstable people who have kids. So, anyways, I don't want to get into that, but that's kind of like another red flag for me. She's got strange men coming in and out. Who's protecting the children? Even though one of them is 17, they might be ready to just split also. But there's something in your heart and in your soul that's in asking you, don't walk away, save these kids, do something to the best of your ability. Now, I understand, Grandma, you have your own limitations, like what to do, what to do. And I started talking about this at the beginning of this video that it seems like there's no solution or you can't come up with a solution. However, I do believe that when we get quiet and we soften into the moment, that there are breadcrumbs that are given to us of how to find a solution to the problem that is guided rather than just like calling the police or getting an injunction or sweeping and kidnapping the kids. Like you could do that. I don't, obviously, I don't recommend that. I do recommend asking for guidance inside you first and then following the breadcrumbs. And your first breadcrumb might have been to write a letter in so that you can get some help. Now, the letter also has some information from someone else who's giving some ideas. And I like these ideas, like on a practical level, is there a father that's available to help? Can that father get more involved? And that's something that if you are going to approach the father, that you would want to be delicate, you would want to be calm, you would want to be intentional. You might want to do some pre-work and write out what you'd like to say or what you'd like to do. Um, so that's going back to that idea of asking for guidance before you just plunge in like everything's an emergency. If if you're if you're taking this project on, which you are, you wouldn't be asking for help if you're not. If you're taking this project on, you want to do it calmly, methodically, rather than rushing in with fear and urgency, because that doesn't get, you're not going to find the solution that you want. This solution where love is moving in and where everybody wins. Not saying that it won't be difficult because it is sticky. It's sticky. It really is sticky and it's difficult. Now, the father, to see if they're going to help with that. You could also ask the adult son who's already moved out, who's 25, to see if they're able to help in any way. Explore if the kids who are still with her could move in with you. Like you're just like exploring all options. Your mind is wide open because you want a solution that works for the family, for you and the kids. Like you're wide open. You're exploring all these options, all these ideas. You're following the breadcrumbs. A door is going to open. So the dad, the son, the older son who's moved out, can they move in with you? are you willing to seek custody? Seek custody of the kids. I know one's 17, they're almost 18. But I have a feeling when they turn 18, they're going to need a lot of help getting themselves, getting themselves on their feet again after living in this household with this mother. So is it possible for you to get custody, especially of the 11-year-old boy or girl? Men moving in and out, to me, that's an unsafe situation. Um, and then the idea of getting custody, you might have to just start with something small by calling a lawyer or even the Department of Family and Children's, like doing some investigation there. But it's like you're taking it methodically, step by step. You're following guidance. And as you follow the next step for guidance, you see where it leads, you see how it feels. And believe me, anything could happen. She could turn the kids over to you. You have no idea. If she does turn the kids over to you, I would definitely make sure that it's legal so that she can't go back and forth taking them and giving them back and taking them and giving them back, because that might suit her mood swings, but that does not suit your intention of creating stability and peace for the kids and stability and peace for you, because like the way she's behaving is kind of jerking you around too, and that is not helpful, and that also saps your energy. So if your energy is sapped and you're living in that, that anxious fight or flight, you can't be supportive and helpful for these two kids who need help. So get really clear on what your intentions are. Help the kids. Help the kids. The mother, who is your daughter, I am afraid to say, she is going to have to find her way through divine intervention, however that comes to her. But your primary goal is to help the kids. And when you get really clear on that, to create peace and stability, then you can start weeding out the things that aren't important. It's not important to try to help her get help. It's important to get the kids in a stable situation. And let me feel if there's anything else that I want to say to you. Yeah, I know that you might be thinking, I shouldn't have to do this. I'm the grandmother. She should do it, but that's not the reality. And that kind of thinking doesn't help. So we move forward step by step with guidance and faith and trust. And if you don't feel like you have faith and trust now, trust me, as you move through this whole situation, when you come out through the end of it, you're going to feel like you've really developed that trust muscle. Okay, so this is Jennifer Rose. I apologize. Like I said, we've got the painters, then the neighbors are getting their lawn done. Then my neighbor, I can hear the neighbor girl on her drum set out there. Oh, also, I've got my email address in the description of this this video. You can always send in something to me. Keep it short, keep it a couple paragraphs. I'll read the answer out anonymously, and then I'll email you back and let you know that I'm doing a video on it. Okay, my friends, take care. Peace be with you.